Welcome to the Crazy Wisdom Podcast. I've got Mathilda Martin here, and she does a lot of art, and she's going to Spectrum Miami. She's going to have an exhibition at Spectrum Miami, Art Basel at Punta del Este in Uruguay, and at Bada in La Rural. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for your invitation, Stewart. It's really nice to be here.
Yes. We'll have a great conversation about art. It's been a very long time since I've done any podcasts with artists, but I used to work at a place called Meow Wolf, which I think I told you about.
Yeah.
And Meow Wolf is an art collective in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Actually, I started this podcast specifically because I was around all of the artists, and I was teaching them yoga and meditation, and they were all crazy. And I don't think they would find that offensive. I think they would find it as a compliment. So I was like, oh, wow, they're so crazy and they're so creative. What is the relationship between creativity and stress, and insanity and all these different things? So I started it while I was at Meow Wolf, actually on their front lawn. I would teach one of the co-founders yoga on the front lawn. And so that led to this podcast 7 or 8 years ago. So what is your take? Why are artists so different than other people? Are they different?
Well, I think we have something in our brains that are different a little bit. I think we have a part of the brain more developed than the other part. And also, I think we're born with something, But nowadays, it's discovered that there are a lot of different type of intelligence. Maybe you have one that you don't know, or you know. That's why you develop all the things you already told us. And I think in my case, it is about that, the creative, I don't know in English, to create something, it's good. And also I like a lot the art since I was a child, painting and everything. I think this is for me my life. I like it a lot to be painting.
So why do you like art? What does art do for you?
I think art is everything. I mean, some days I don't paint because I have to do a lot of things. When you are an artist,
yes, the business of art.
Yeah. People think when you are an artist, the only thing you do is painting, and it's not true. You have to do a lot of things that are not painting, that sometimes are boring, but you have to do it to make people to know, And I think in the days I'm not painting, I am painting with my brain all the time. I'm thinking what I'm going to paint and everything. And for me, in those last years, I was really connected with the water. So when I swim, all the time I thinking what I'm going to paint, what's next in the painting I am doing, or if I am doing a new one, I think the art for me is everything,
Where do you swim? Is it in nature, or can you experience this flow water state indoors? Like, does it have to be in nature, or where like you said swimming, and I thought like Mar del Plata, going into the and everything like that. Do you have to go into nature, or is it anywhere in water?
No, I swim in a swimming pool with a teacher also, because I swim like the last 3 years. It's the same time I started painting about the water, But I swim in the swimming pool because I like to do it like training,
Yes. Yeah.
But if I go to the sea also, I swim.
Yeah.
When I have water, I swim. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting because it gets into the elements, and I've been thinking a lot about the elements because you're Argentine, I'm American. We come from the Western tradition. We come from this tradition of the West, and as that, like, there's all these things about pagan. The word pagan, right? Like we had all these pagan religions in the West, like back in Europe. I've been reading about the Irish. But you also have the English, and you have the Germans, and even the Romans. Before Christianity, you had the pagan tribes and everything like that. And part of the philosophers would all talk about the elements, about water, fire, earth, and everything. You go to the Chinese, and the Chinese have their own elements, which is they snuck in metal for some reason. The Chinese snuck in metal to their thing, which we don't have in the West. But this water element, like, and so I want to dig into that. Like, what is the water element for you? Why were you so attracted to the water? And I've seen your paintings, and that's part of the. We met at a coffee shop, and I've
Yeah.
seen, and I see that water, and I've been playing a lot with the water element in terms of my dance recently. There's a dance, a Brazilian dance called zouk, and zouk is very much water, very much flow. Not like tango. Tango does have a flow to it, but tango is very rigid and structured. I would say it's like more of a wood element, or maybe even a fire element, I would say too. What do you think?
Well, I don't know why I connect with the water. I think the most important thing the water give me is calm and relax, you know. I think when I swim, as I told you, I enter like in a pose that is the same pose when I paint. That's why for me it's connected. And I was talking with a person a few months ago, and he told me that in medicine, in health, it's really connected in the brain, like the swim or the swimmers, you know, to swim and painting and something in
Oh,
the
interesting.
brain. That's that when that
Interesting.
person told me that, then other person told me the same, and I said, maybe it's true because when I start swimming, like the first time I start swimming, I realize how is my body and everything. And when I start painting, it's almost the same paint, the
Oh, interesting.
painting. And then when I relax, I get a pose that is really important. If you do yoga, you understand about the pose. You know, the here, we are
Are
here
you saying
in,
the posture? By post, you mean posture?
sorry?
Post. You said post. What do you mean by post?
Like pausa, like a pause,
Ah,
like a
pause,
present.
pause. Okay, yeah.
What's my
Like a
English?
pause. So when you're got it, interesting. So a still moment. So you go into the water, you feel a still moment, you paint, you feel a still moment. And I use that word from still moment from actually from my cranial sacral work, which is a massage type of work. They talk about the still point. So you enter a state of flow. I love what you said about the pause because it means that it's like a state of flow. But usually when people mean flow, they mean like inaction. But you said still point, which means like silence and sort of like the center of all action, which is really interesting because they're both related, the flow state and that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's that. I mean that when you start, when you are painting or when you are swimming, you are in only in that moment, and you don't care
Mm.
if the war finished.
Yeah.
You are in that moment. You don't care
Yeah.
about the war. You know, you
Yeah.
only care about you and yourself with the painting or with the water. That's
Yeah.
why I like painting. I think it's good for it's healthy, as you said that art is health. Art is also good. You know the organization, the World Organization of Health, la Organización Mundial de la Salud. I'm going to say something in
Yep.
Spanish. You understand me?
World Health Organization.
That one said that the art is good for your health, and if you have some illness or something, it could be good for you to curarte. Sorry, my
Yeah.
English.
Well,
Yeah,
this goes back to the Meow Wolf crazy people comment, which is just like the people who are good artists usually have some sort of trauma or because they had to confront it very early on,
yeah.
and so they had to transmute that energy very early on, and so they find art so interesting for me because I do consider myself an artist. With these podcasts, I feel like I have an ability to have a conversation about truth or life or reality or philosophy or a whole bunch of different things. I can talk about a whole bunch of different things. I'm also consider myself an artist when it comes to dance or massage, but physical art of making paintings has always been a block for me. And I want to get better at it. And I think I could be good at it. But it's so interesting because that trauma actually came when I was really young, of essentially of actually trying to write characters, like actually trying to just write cursive or write in school when they were trying to teach me how to write language. And so it always felt like a huge block for me to actually like paint it. I actually have a painting, my first painting, right right there in the back. Not that good one. Not, I mean, the one behind the where
I cannot see it so much from here.
It's this guy right here. That guy. The one in the back. I should go grab it.
Yeah, but from here I cannot see it. Sorry. But for me, you are an artist because you create. Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah. There's a story to it. It's just my first just attempt, because I've learned with anything, the most important thing to do is just start doing it. Like you can philosophize and theorize and try to like think about all the things you're going to do. But if it's in a new domain, you just have to do it, and it has to be bad. And you just, but not even bad, like, because good and bad aren't really helpful. When you're like, yeah. Well, what do you think of that? What do you think of everything I just said?
I think it's okay. I think if you feel that you have something, and you are artist also because you create podcast, you are a creative person, so you have that in your heart, in your brain and everything. So you have to start it doing, maybe with a teacher or maybe by your own. Maybe you can search some information. Nowadays you have everything.
Like you've taught, you teach art, right?
I don't teach. I am a teacher, but I don't teach. I make some workshops, like the typical, that it's art and wine, but I do it like with music therapy. That start the first minutes with music therapy, so it's really to calm down and only hear the music. I'm not going to do everything because you have to come.
Oh yeah, of course. Interesting. But like
nowadays I don't have too much time to do it. So sometime in the year I do it only 3 or 4 times. No more than that, because I have all the time exhibition and things, and I have to paint also,
So, but you must know artists who teach as well. What is the first thing that they teach, like to help me get started in my art and the listeners to get started in art? Like like when you sit somebody down in front of an easel, what do you share with them about?
Yeah.
What do you create?
The first thing I would suggest, if someone wants to start like you, painting, is to search some painting that you like it. Painting or one artist at least, and then you have to try to reproduction.
Interesting.
It's not copy; it's inspired in that person, But I would recommend that, when you can start it to trying to paint it. Of course, you are not going to do it everything, you have to have some tips, if it is your first time painting. But almost all the people remember some things about the school painting, like the colors, the primary colors, the secondary colors, how to match it or something like that. But it's good with a teacher, because you are showing me that is really difficult to do it.
I was going to say, I don't think I could do this. Because
if you start with something like that is really difficult, it could be really difficult to you to start it, You're starting from here, you're here and you're starting from here.
Which is a common thing I try to do. But so this is just the art. It's the first, this is high I can't even pronounce his name. Hieronymus Bosch, who is a Dutch artist from the 15th century, who was just totally wild, like, because he
like it.
Nobody else was doing this type of thing in the 14th century, and it's just like this strange thing. But I love it. This is like the art that, and I actually got it from AI. That's how I've figured out about this.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite artist to sort of reproduce?
Well, I like Van Gogh a lot. In the time he was with blue, everything, you know. Um, and I don't know, I like a lot of artists, but I think Van Gogh is the first one. I like some artists that they don't paint the same I paint, but I think this is good about the art, to focus in another type of art that you wouldn't paint and you don't want to
Yeah,
paint, you know,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
learn a lot about the different things and people that feel the things different, the art different.
yeah,
So I think in that case you really learn about the other person, the other artist, you know,
Oh, interesting.
like Picasso, I don't know, Miro or Van Gogh, but I prefer Van Gogh for
Bango.
good.
Okay. And that
Good.
makes sense given the art that I've seen. Okay, I just looked at Picasso. I cut out there for a moment, so I didn't share my screen, but I'm gonna turn it back on. Um,
Okay.
uh, the Van Gogh is really interesting because I see these like circles a little bit inside of your art as well. And that's the kind of water. That's the water element, right? Because this is a water stroke, right? Is that
Yeah.
that sort of circular type of thing? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I
And
loved what you
also
just
the
said
good
about.
thing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go
I
for it.
hear you.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I think it's stopping with the internet. But it's so interesting because it's visual, and
Yeah.
it's the what you said about the author and the feeling. I want to talk about feeling and art because it feels really old. Like it feels like art is something that just is goes to our basic humanity of like 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago. What were they doing? Like, what are the records that we have? Well, we can go into the archaeological sites and we can see what they've been eating. We can see the bones. We can see burial things like and burial is one form of art that a lot of people have. But what do we really know that they were doing? Well, they were making paintings in caves. Like that's the first thing that they started doing was paintings in caves. And so it seems really fundamental, and it feels really like something that we're very emotionally tied to. And what you just said about artists and looking at artists and you can know something about that individual by looking at their art. And that's really, and it's so deep to who they are, right? Like it's not something that it's not like what is an example? It's not like something that is just superficial. Like
Yeah.
when you see their art, that's like a direct connection into their soul, right? Is that what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to say. That when you see a painting, I also buy art.
Mm,
So when I see a painting that I connect with that painting, I want to have it, you
mm,
know,
yeah,
because
interesting.
something in that artist or in that paint, it connects with me, with my heart, or something that it's happening to me in that moment that the artist connected.
Yeah,
So I think that is the important feeling that the painting has. That nowadays the IA doesn't like inteligencia artificial, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That's funny. Really, it's funny because you said Aya, and Aya is also the way that people talk about ayahuasca, the plant medicine. So it's AI.
Okay, sorry. I translated it in Spanish and it wasn't
Sure,
good.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah, la IA, AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. It was a very good point that you made.
Yeah, as you were talking about this feeling, you know, because there are a lot of artists that are really worried about this and
Yes. Yep.
said, "Oh, we are not going to have work.
Yep.
Will be horrible," and I don't care about that because the
Yeah.
people want buy
Oh, interesting.
artwork, you know, one buy an artwork, one buy something, one feel something, and choose this art at difference from the IA. Yeah.
Yeah. AI. It's really funny in Spanish because it's la IA or AI. Yeah.
Well, you can buy it with IA. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can buy it, but you are not going to have this feeling, you know? When you buy
Ah,
something from an artist, you buy something that a human do
yeah.
it, you know, and it has all the feeling the human when create this artwork do it, and the IA doesn't have it,
Yeah.
so it's more cold. It's colder. So the
Yeah.
people, it's not the same. You can buy it, but it's not the same. So the people in the future will always prefer a human, an artist that do it, that
Well,
artwork. I don't know if
so
you understand me what the point I want to.
no. I got the point. And I think that it's really interesting because I can, this is in my realm of AI. Like I know a lot about AI, and I'm at the forefront of what AI can do and what it can't do. And right now, it's really interesting because it can. I want to show my screen, but I'm not going to do it because I would go to Midjourney. If anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, you can go to Midjourney, and you can look at the art on Midjourney. But what are you doing? You're looking at it through a screen. You're not going into a gallery. Like have you seen any, because you go to galleries, you're connected into this whole AI world.
Yeah.
And it's so like in a gallery, I wonder whether we're going to see AI images. I don't want to get distracted from my main point because the main point is like right now, I think you're right. People want to see it from a human being, and just the fact that they know whether it's human or AI generated is really important. But I also question if whether artists are creating things with AI and whether humans will be able to tell if they don't know whether whether the thing has been created by AI or by a human. Will a human be able to tell? And I'm not sure that that's the case. Like, I have you heard of this? Have you? I imagine in the art world, it's like no way anything that is generated by AI is getting into this gallery, right? That's the way the galleries are thinking about this, right?
I think nowadays there are like the galleries that the galleries don't like
Yeah,
IA.
yeah, they don't, yeah, they don't want anything to
So
do with, yeah.
you cannot enter there if you have IA. You can buy only in IA the
Yeah,
art.
yeah, 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 yeah. But what
I didn't understand so much.
yeah, so basically it's going to be possible. It might already be possible to like just imagine me. I'm an artist. Say that I'm an artist, but I am not a very truthful artist. So
Uh-huh.
I'll say like I'll make a print of something that I created with AI, and
Yeah.
then I'll share it to a gallery owner, and I'll be like, no, I created this. I created it. Uh, uh, like
Yeah.
that could happen, and whether the gallery owner knows whether it's I think we're already past the point at which they would know whether it's AI or not. Like I think a person who is not honest could sneak by. And it's funny because my uncle is my uncle and my cousin. They both lived in Nepal, and they were both art dealers for Nepalese and Tibetan art. So this really beautiful Tibetan art that is really colorful and crazy and all this different stuff. My uncle moved to Nepal and Tibet in the 1960s and the 1970s, and he became an art dealer while all of that art was coming out of Tibet because the Chinese had taken Tibet. It was all going to Nepal, and so they became art dealers for all of the art from Tibet and Nepal going into the United States. And they are experts in art identification, whether it's the real thing or whether it's false.
That's perfect.
Which is the same thing that I just talked about with AI. So now I'm going to write this question down as you respond. I got to figure out how to actually ask the question. It's like,
I understand your
yeah,
question. I think if the gallery it's really good and have a lot of experience could recognize if it is something that is copied from the IA or something that you really. But sometimes they cannot recognize it, and maybe they say that they do it, but they didn't do it. There are a lot of artists that they are not artists. They say they are artists, but they aren't. There are a lot of, in this world, there are a lot of people, we say in Spanish, chantas.
Wait, say it again?
I don't know. Chantas,
Chantas.
I don't know the word. Yes, the word in English, I think we cannot translate it because it's something that is typical from here in Argentina.
Chantas. That is a great word, and I'm so angry because my my note-taking device failed, so I can't open my note-taking device to write down both the question I wanted to ask, which is, like AI, whether somebody who does art for a living and does art identification will be able to tell whether AI works or not. But then this word chantas is also really good. So chantas, does that mean like a charlatan or a faker or somebody who weaves a crazy story, but the story isn't true? Is that what chanta means? What does chanta mean?
It's that person, the person that is all the time making things that they are not real or are copy or doing illegal things, But in this world, everything could happen.
Which leads to another conversation about Argentina in general, which is so interesting. So Argentina in general, there's been so much economic chaos and all these things happening here that there's a lot of opportunity to be a chanta. There's also the word boludo, right? Boludo?
Yeah, but I think in all the countries are chantas. Here in Argentina, we are really. You are going to understand me because you have been living a while here. But I think in Argentina, we are really too authentic. In other countries, you have chantas, but you have to investigate it more or less. You're not going to see it like here. But in Argentina, we have a lot of the chantas, and the people is chantas in your face. And you see it as a strange, people from strange people that come from another country said, no, I can't believe it. He done it, But we are like this. We're honestly, we are directly. I think that's the difference,
So it's so interesting in Argentina because there's so many things going on related to this conversation. People are really authentic here. I've noticed that I can walk into the street in Buenos Aires and I can start a conversation with anyone. I do it all the time. I can start a conversation with like yesterday I went and they're changing the gas lines to the apartments. And so there's a bunch of construction people and they had some interesting machines. So I started asking them questions about the machines. And it's totally acceptable here. Like in the US or Russia or Europe, particularly like in Germany or Russia, if you like, what are you doing? Like, why are you asking me these questions? And here it's like, whatever. You can talk to the taxi drivers will talk to you. And so everybody is really authentic and everybody's real. Like, it's not a fake friendship. It's not like in the United States often. I think we're very similar in the United States where we're pretty warm. Like if you go to people randomly in random places, they'll be open and warm and kind of like have a conversation with you. But oftentimes in the US, we're considered kind of fake. Like we just like, it's not an authentic thing. Where in Argentina, it's like you can make friends with people on the street. And then and it's so interesting. But then what you said is also true, that you can have like charlatans or chantas, like people who like weave these crazy stories and try to scam you and do all these different things. So it's a really like strange line of like, how do you tell whether somebody's really authentic? I've traveled all over the world. I've lived in a lot of different countries. So I can kind of like regardless of the culture, I can kind of tune into people and tell whether they're trying to scam me or not. Or I've also, like in the United States, have had scammers try to scam me. So yeah. It's something you learn in business. And I think you're good at business as well. It's just like, that's like you learn as an intuition over time. And then there's just like, you have to spend a lot of time with people, like spend like a year to understand who they really are and everything like that. But what do
Yeah.
you think about, I just threw a lot of at you. What do you think?
No, I think it's like that. We are like that.
Yeah.
You have both kind of person. I think the good thing about Argentina, and that's why a lot of people that are from other country like to live here, that we make friends in the street.
Yep. Yep.
We don't need a lot of time to
Yeah.
be friends of
Yeah.
someone. We said hello, hi, as
Yeah,
we
we
do
did.
coffee
Yeah,
shop.
we met that way. Yeah.
And we talk, and
Yeah.
it was okay. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the one of the things I really like about my country. It's good because you don't have to spend a lot
Mm.
of time with someone to be a friend.
Yep.
And also another thing that I like about my country is that it's really, I'm going to say it again in Spanish because I don't know. In English, solidario. Somos solidario. Like,
Solidarity. You have a lot
yeah,
of solidarity.
I mean, if something happened to you in the middle of the downtown, the people
Yeah.
will help you, you know? I don't know why, maybe because they are gossip, I don't know why, but they will help you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's a big city, Buenos Aires, and the people will help you. That's good. Then we have a lot of bad things, but we're
Yeah.
not.
What are the bad things? What are the bad things in your opinion?
The bad things, I don't know. The politician, the economy.
Yeah. Why? Because it's so crazy. Because it's like from outside of Argentina, before I came here, all I knew about Argentina was that it was chaos. That you had 150 years ago, everybody was rich, really, really rich as an Argentine, and prosperity and all these crazy things. But then it's also like South America, so it's like it's lumped in with Brazil and Colombia, and like in the late 1800s, all the republics of Colombia, Argentina, maybe Brazil too, or Peru, they all like defaulted on their debt. And so you couldn't really trust, loaning money to Argentina, but Argentina was like richer than the rest. And so that was like what I knew is like, it's kind of South America, kind of not South America. And I have spent 15 years going to South America, so I really know the rest of South America.
Good.
And then I came to Argentina. It's like, oh, it is like South America, but it's also like Europe, and it's also like the United States.
Yeah, we have a mix, here.
Yeah, and so it's like strange. It's not like the same thing. And so when I got here, though, you have the chaos, but you also have this like European vibe that doesn't exist in the United States, which is like, in the United States, we're not European. We're something new. Whereas Argentina like connects to Europe, but also has a little bit of the United States. And so there's this, it's like, I forget how we got here. Yeah.
Speaking about art, and we continue about the Argentinian.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a good question. Who are the Argentine artists that you like the most? Who either like from now, currently, or over the past 150 years? Are there any Argentine artists? I know Borges, but he's literature. Like, who are the fundamental Argentine artists?
Well, in the past, I like a few years ago, a lot of years ago. I don't know how much now, but it's Quinquela Martin. That is, you maybe know him. He was really famous here in Buenos Aires. He used to paint about the port,
Oh, cool.
when the people arrive from Europe, the boats and everything. Quinquela Martin was a really famous artist. He used to paint. He used to paint and sell everything. He used to live also in Paris, in Europe, and a lot of in that moment he used to be famous. So nowadays, each paint of him it's cost too much. It's really expensive, too good, and he paint a lot about with blue and with the water. That's why I like it. From these days, I have a friend that I really like. He paint walls like in the street, big walls. I don't know how to say
cool.
it.
Graffiti. Is it graffiti?
But it's not a graffiti. He paints like big ones.
Mural.
Yeah, yeah, but big. He's
Wow.
Alfredo Segatori. He's really good. He's an artist that he's 20 years ago painting, he's
Mm.
like the last 20 years. And he's really good. He has a funny personality, like all the
Yeah.
street paintings,
Oh, interesting.
And he's a really good painter. And then I have another friends like Beaver Ted, Miro Locker. They are really cool also. I like it. But I really admire this kind of person that can paint, a whole building.
Hmm.
You have
Yeah,
to
because that
go,
must that
you
must
know.
take a long time, right?
Yeah. Actually, he paint like in a week. He finished.
Okay.
That's why I admire, because it's really
Focus,
good. Yeah, it
because
is
you
like,
need focus to do that.
yeah. And you have to be, and you have to have luck with the weather also, because it's too hot too. It's raining or something, you cannot painting. So I that kind of painting, I like it. And
So
also
that
you have to share Cobra. You have to look for Cobra. He's also a painting that paint these buildings, He's
hmm,
really good, but he's Brazilian.
hmm.
He painted not only him, he's like a group of painting, but he
Oh.
put only his name. I don't know why. But it's a collaboration, but he paint it's really nice
Is
because
that normal? Is that normal in art to collaborate with a lot of people on one piece of art?
yeah, if you have an agreement, it's normal.
I imagine those agreements are like rock bands where it's like you only see the one that works, but there's a lot that didn't work. Is that true? There's a lot of drama.
I think he became famous.
Yeah.
So maybe if
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
all the 5 person that paint, you are going to look for only the famous
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah.
And this paint in Wingwood, in Europe, in Brazil. He's from Brazil, from São Paulo, but in Rio de Janeiro. But he paints in, really good, and I like the kind of colors he use also.
Okay, that's really interesting. There's a bunch of questions that we could go from here. There's the business of art. I would love to talk about the business of art, but then
Okay.
there's the technicality of art, because you just mentioned a whole bunch of stuff. Like if you're painting this large mural on a large wall and you have rain and it destroys it, I imagine there's like a whole bunch of techniques that you could do, like use different materials in order to that's rainproof, and like how much of that goes into it. So that's like the technicalities of like what types of paint do you paint with, or what types of the canvas do you work with. um and then there's like also the international art scene of how that's changing, because I imagine that after 2020 a lot of things probably changed in art. And then there's like this goes into the business question. So let's get into the business, because there's the
Yep.
business of art, like selling art. And the only people who buy art are generally, I would say, probably people who have some money. So there's like the business of selling to a unique group of people and how that works. But related to what I was just saying is the moda, the fashion, the like how do those two things interplay between the actual business of it and the moda, like how does fashion or moda or like or hype in the technology, we talk a lot about
Yeah.
hype, and I think it's very related here. Well, how do those things work?
Well, I think a lot of people when buy art buy because if it is on fashion that
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah. So
and
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, because but
yeah,
you like you've got this question, or you answered the question, which is fashion. So the fashion changes. People want to buy the art because everybody's talking about that person. Do you
yeah.
think that do you think that's manufactured? Do you think that those artists just know how to do that? They just know how to create the buzz? Or do you think or it's probably both, but do you think it's organic? Do you think it's organic, or do you think it's inorganic? And like how does that work?
Hmm. I think it's inorganic because
Yeah.
they when they started it was okay. It was
Yeah,
organic. They do
interesting.
it. And when as they make it like
Interesting.
a
Yeah.
factory, you know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
make it a factory. They
So
make
it starts organic and then it becomes inorganic once they know the value. Once they know how to create and market the value,
yeah.
then it can become inorganic. But there are artists who maintain organic, right? How? Yeah.
But I think everything in art, it's good. I mean, you can
Yeah.
be an artist that is you are a
Yeah.
commercial
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
not connected with something with your soul or with your heart, and
Yeah.
like because all the time when we think about art, we think that the artist when created with all his heart, but
Mm.
sometimes there are not feeling, you know, when you are a commercial artist like this kind of artist that make it like a factory, you know,
Yeah.
like do it all the
It's the
time like
AI. It's the AI coming in again. It's the factory.
product.
Yeah.
It's like a product that you don't know if is he really do it, or maybe he have a lot of person that do it,
Oh,
you
interesting.
know.
So this question already existed of whether the AI is doing it or not. It's whether another human is also working for an artist to do it as well. So this already exists.
Because if you are so famous and you don't have time to be painting all the time, you have to be in a
Yeah,
lot of
interesting.
in a lot of events,
Whoa.
in a lot of shows, and you also have to paint, but you don't have the time to do both, you know. So when you are in the events, in the parties, and in the exhibition and everything, someone maybe it's painting for you.
Ah,
Not
man.
good, but maybe it's like that.
But it's like it could be, and this is everything that I investigate, and this happens in technology too. I'll give you an example of how this is the same thing in technology. It's just a principle or a pattern of the. It's funny though, because in technology, that's the goal. You want to scale it. You try to scale it. You try to escalate. You try to scale the application, and that's a good thing. Everybody wants to scale it. But it's funny because it's the opposite problem, which is that where I come from in San Francisco, the culture has been destroyed because they tried to scale everything. They tried to remove the human. How do you scale something? You remove the human from it, and so it's created this inauthentic place where it's like, yeah, it's great to go to San Francisco for business. If I want to go raise money, I need to go to San Francisco to raise money for my technology business and like network with people. But it's like a horrible place to live. Like it's not a great place to live because they removed all of the humans. Like they removed the artist. All the artists in the 1990s and the 2000s, like San Francisco was where you went to create good art. Like that was this place where it was like super creative. All those people left. They can't afford it anymore. The only people who can afford it are the good artists who are good at business. I didn't mean to say good artists, but they're the good at the business. What do you think?
I don't know. You said San Francisco, and for me, San Francisco is one of my favorite cities.
Mm.
And it's a pity that nowadays not good like the downtown. I tell you
Yeah.
this, you know, I know you didn't ask me that, but I think you need the person. You need the person to make the art. You asked me a few minutes ago about the business, something
Yep.
about business in 2020.
The pandemic changed the art
Yes.
business, right? Did it change the art business?
I want to tell you that I think nowadays, because in the past, before COVID, all the people when we're artists need the galleries. And nowadays, the good thing about the COVID that is you don't need a gallery to sell art.
Oh, interesting.
You know, now you make exhibitions with fair or exhibition by your own, and you don't need the gallery. So I
Wow.
think the gallery, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Whoa.
they are like that in the world, you know,
Whoa.
and that's really good because now you're manage your arrange your career by your own, your work.
That's super interesting, but it's also harder, right? Because if you know the right gallery person, they
Of
used to
course,
have so much. Yeah.
Of course, it's hard because you have to make contacts. But if you work by your own in every,
That's in every
you have to
industry.
do
It's
it,
the
you know?
same. It's the same thing. It's so strange about human. I mean, it makes sense that if you as a human, how do you become successful? Well, you can do good work, but unless you know the right humans to grab their attention, like your good work won't be seen by anyone. It's just a fact of life. Yeah.
Yeah, as you say a few minutes ago, you said if you have a technologist, you should go to San Francisco.
Yeah.
But if you go to San Francisco, you can do it if you are a
Yeah.
company, a technology. But
Yeah.
if you don't know the right persons
Yeah.
to talk,
Yeah.
go to San Francisco.
Yeah. And the cool thing
San Francisco.
I'll give credit to San Francisco, which is that it's a very open place. So if you do have a startup, you can go there. Nobody will take you seriously when you first get there, but you just have to go to event after event after event. And once you make the right friends and you go and you get the right event and you get to the private events and you do all that stuff, then you can work your way into it. And they're very open, which I imagine the art world is not that way, right? Is the art world that way? That you can't go somewhere, right? How do you break into the art world?
Eh, I don't know. I started and I don't know. I don't remember how I do it.
And it was probably different, right? Because
And it's difficult. It's more difficult, I think, because it is
yeah,
too close.
yeah. It's closed. It's not open. Yeah,
It's not open.
yeah,
I like it that about San Francisco that
yeah,
the people is really open. But you said that because you know the business. If someone it's new in the business, don't
yeah.
know that they have to go several events,
Yeah. They don't even know how to
people, you know.
yeah. They
Even
don't
they
even
have the best startup in
yeah.
the world. If they don't know that, they couldn't, sell the startup or starting working with that. And in the art is really close, and you have to know just only, and even in Argentina it's more close than in another countries, you know. You have to know only a few persons to be there, or a few exhibitions to be there, then to sell.
Yeah, interesting.
You have to know the correct person to then sell, to communicate your art and everything, you know. I think in United States is easier
Yeah, interesting.
because also United States the people buy more art than in Argentina,
Interesting.
collect art.
Yeah.
If you go to the right exhibition, the right art fair, you are okay.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. But the other thing is the difference about the market, the art market in Argentina and United States, that for me sometimes it's difficult to try to. I mean, if I am in a fair in Argentina, it's good to connect with the people because it's easy. We are directly. And sometimes this kind of character directly in United States, it's not good because they don't. It's like, come on, you're. It's too much for them. So you have to be careful. You have to be like chill out to talk to people, you know. But when you do it, then it's okay. They are warm. But they need the time to know people to buy.
Oh, but that's in the U.S. Whereas in Argentina, okay, well that's a lot. So
I'm making the difference between one market and the other market.
So we only have a few more minutes left, and I want to hear more about the exhibits that myself and the audience can go into. But I have one last question beyond that, which is your specific art or the artist that you know for Argentina. How much are the buyers in Argentina versus from the U.S.? Like, are a lot of U.S. people buying Argentina art, or is it Argentines buying Argentina art?
I think it's the same,
50-50? 50%, 50%?
I think in Argentina they don't buy too much art, know. They buy less than United States. But as I am from here, I know more people, than in United States.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
maybe I sell more here than in United States, because when I go to United States, I go like 3 times in the year to a
Yeah.
fair. But now that I have a gallery in New York that
Oh.
took me from the fair, so they make all the communication and everything,
Okay.
So I think it's almost the same, but here you don't sell more. And also the prices that you put here are really low.
Oh.
You can United States, you can put the real price,
Oh, whoa.
upper, or not so upper, the real price. Here you have to put more down because the
Yeah.
people will not buy you. Not
So
good that I'm saying this, but it's the truth.
yeah. So tell us more about the exhibitions that you'll be in with the dates and everything.
Okay, so I will be in Spectrum Miami in December, from the 3rd to the 7th on December, in Spectrum Miami in Wynwood, and then I will be in Punta del Este, Uruguay, in January, in the first week of January, and then I will be in Bada here in Buenos Aires, and then each month of the year, the next year and this year, I have a coffee shop that you have been there, Al Diablo Cafe. So you can meet several artists. I change all the time the artists and my art there. So
for the listeners who don't speak Spanish, it's with the American accent, it's El Diablo, which is the devil, but very good coffee. Maybe that's how they get good coffee. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and find Art Mathilda, right, on Instagram?
Yeah.
Art Mathilda.
Bajo, what do you say? Mathilda.
Art with it, ARTE _ Mathilda, MATHILDE. Thank you. Or no, sorry, I got it wrong. So it's Mathilda with a different, it's MATHILDA.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys.